The collective bargaining agreement, in other words, the contract between the National Football League owners and its players, expires at midnight. The two sides are still working with a federal mediator, but can they avoid the NFL's first work stoppage since 1987? Joining me now is sports attorney Richard Roth, who's represented Peyton Manning and NFL Hall of Famers. Richard, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Clearly, this is about money. These negotiations, well, most of the time are. What in particular are the sticking points here?
There are a few. The first and foremost is that there's a $9 billion pie which has to be carved up. The owners want to take a first billion off the top. The second is whether or not they're going to add 2 more games to the actual season. There's an issue involving the rookies' salary cap or salary scale. There are issues involving the owners opening up their books to show the players their revenues as well as their expenses. And then there's issues about the building of the new gigantic stadiums and who's going to pay for them. So
right.
There's a lot of issues.
Ultimately, would you say that the biggest one is that pie and how it's broken up and these players wanting to know, wanting to see these books? The idea is that these players say, we're making you lots of money. We want to share in increased revenues.
Which is very typical. That is correct. The $9 billion pie is the big issue.
All right.
Absolutely.
Where are we now? I know there have been a flurry of meetings. They're meeting with these federal negotiators. I assume today's a very busy day, that everybody's trying to work toward a settlement as opposed to a lockout?
That's correct. It's really a high-stakes economic chess game, and you have two things going on. On the one hand, in Washington, D.C., you have the mediator sitting down with the Players Association and with the NFL, trying to work it out before the clock strikes 12 tonight. On the other hand, you have, if you will, huddling the owners in their own room as well as the players in their own room, trying to figure out if the mediation is not successful, what's the next move.
Okay.
And they have a couple of options.
Tell me about those.
Okay. The NFL can lock out the players,
right,
and that is a very strong, very draconian measure, but they can actually lock out the players.
It's a very strong bargaining position. It's also very risky in terms of the money they make and the fans they could alienate. Very risky.
That's why I said it's high-stakes economic chess, because the players as well can either strike, which they've announced they won't do, or they can decertify the union, which they very
Let's just pick up on this. We were talking about collective bargaining with respect to these state battles going on with unions. The last thing that unionized workers typically want to do is decertify and start bargaining for themselves. But in this particular instance, the players are using that as a threat, saying, hey, wait a second, maybe we'll not work through the union and you'll have to deal with every one of us individually. That's not a good thing for the owners. Generally, it's not a good thing for the owners. It's generally not a good thing for the unions. But what happens here is that if they decertify, which is a process, you need 30% of the actual employees to file a petition, then, in fact, that gives them a ticket, if you will, to go to federal court and commence an antitrust litigation against the NFL, which would give the NFL owners significant risk because you get treble damages and attorney's fees. But the risk to the players in that decertification is grave. It's very serious. But number one is there's a fight. The NFL has already preemptively filed, if you will, a claim that the decertification is a sham, that it's not really an actual decertification. It's a technique to exactly. But more importantly, in these instances, litigation is not necessarily the answer. It is very expensive. It is very time-consuming. There's tremendous risk. I will tell you that in the antitrust field, the majority of cases are won by the defendants, in this case the NFL, and they take for a long time, as well as the fact that the unions will no longer, the union is not around, so the pensions and the benefits and the medical insurance is not there anymore. And if the NFL and or the owners lock out the players, then they're not working, they're not receiving benefits, and they're sitting waiting for a federal court judge 2 years down the road to make a decision. This is complicated. Quick handicap, we're going to see a lockout or we're going to see a deal? I think what's going to happen is this. I believe the mediator is very effective. I think that there's not a crisis. I'm optimistic as a fan and a lawyer that there's going to be a delay. I believe the mediator will at least set tonight's deadline off for a week, and then during that time, I do not believe there's going to be a lockout. I'm optimistic this is going to work out. Richard, thanks for clearing it up for us. Thank you very much. Sports attorney Richard Roth.